Hey everybody, how's it going? It's Chris Flowers. Here's a deal. Again, I'm always excited to bring out my friends. My friend Fred Parr, he owns Vista Biz Solutions. It's a fractional CFO, and like I said, I want to give people the education on what fractional CFOs do and why you want to work with Vista Biz Solutions. As always, we're going to open up the show with our sponsor. It's Litchfield Auto. Phil and his team, like I said, I've known for well over 10 years and feel amazingly comfortable referring anybody to them. I don't care if you have a BMW to a Nissan, makes no difference. Fred and his team are experts in what they do and they can keep your cars on the road. And just that, like their slogan says, at least there's one fair and honest mechanic out there. I can personally attest to that because I've been going there for years, bring all my vehicles there. I suggest you do the same thing. They're local here in Goodyear. They're located at 671 North 137th Avenue, 671 North 137th Avenue in Goodyear, and their phone number 623-882-8700. And I'm going to have Fred Parr come on. He's going to turn on his camera.
Hi
There
there.
he is. Hey, how you doing, buddy?
Super fantastic. You.
I'm doing great. So are you here local or you're in Canada?
I'm here local. I'm in
Okay.
Surprise. Yeah. Sometimes I go in Canada though and escape the summer for a little bit and the heat. But yeah, most of the time I live here in Surprise.
Okay. I just wanted to see if you were at home in Canada or over here or where you were at. So, you I want you to introduce yourself and tell everybody, what Vista Biz Solutions is and uh as far as what you do as being a fractional CFO.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm Fred Pare. Yes, I'm Canadian, but lived here in Arizona now for yeah, almost 5 years. And
Mhm.
I've launched my own practice a little bit over 2 years ago. You said it's named Vista Biz Solution. And what I do is fractional CFO, and that could be confusing for most people. And what is a CFO? What does that do in life? Is it the head of accounting, or is that all? Because most business owners have an accountant already, right?
Mhm.
But being a CFO is different. And when you think about big businesses, Amazon, Microsoft, all those big businesses, they all have a CFO. And what they do is essentially is they do the same thing as I do. They track profit, they track cash flow, they analyze the business's weakness, the strengths. But most importantly, they propose corrective actions. So I do the same thing, but I'm specialized with small and medium-sized businesses. So I help small business owner to increase their profit, grow their business, and grow their take-home pay because that's important. That's why they went in business in the first place, right? They wanted freedom of time and money. So I help them to achieve just that.
So like what is the process when you first, start with a company? Like how do you, get into it? How do you start working with the clients and then, go about your succession plan?
Yep. So yeah, I help them to transform their business, from owning that job to make it a money-making machine. And I do that by guiding the business owner so that they can spend more time on working on their business versus working in and doing everything in their business. And I've got a very simple process for that, what I call a clear path, that help business owner to get that more profitable and growing business. And it starts with setting a destination, right? Setting target for the year, which can be a novelty, but you got to know where you're going before you start driving, because you might
Mhm.
just drive your car around the block and not getting anywhere. So same thing for your business, right? You're going to set a target. And we're setting goals for drivers that will drive revenue, profit, and cash, which is what is needed. And once that's done, every month I'm going to reevaluate the business, reassess it, make a forecast according to current trend, and build a scoreboard that's going to show the business owner exactly yeah, how their business is doing. And everybody understand green, yellow, and right. When you have a green square on your scoreboard, you know you're doing pretty good. When it's
Mhm.
red, you got to address something. So it simplifies things for them because financial statements, not super fun to look at, right? If you're not an accountant,
They're not,
no, no, not for most people. They're not.
but for
If you
you,
haven't, oh, I love financial statements. I love to pour in and dive and look at all the
you're a
numbers.
sick man. You're a
But
sick
yeah,
man.
I know. But for most people, it's not the case. So I understand that, and I try to make it simple with those scoreboard. And then we meet, once a month. We look at the scoreboard, all the red square. We're going down and deep dive together to understand what's the root cause. Why isn't it working? And together we develop a plan. So I set objective. All right, Miss Business Owner, you need to change this. You need to move this target from to, and let's discuss real next step that you can implement in your business, so that you're going to get back on the right track and that you can get to destination.
So I've covered this here on the show before, and I've interviewed Eric, um, also like I said, but and I've covered this a couple different times, and you're saying it as well. Delegation is key. That's what I'm hearing. Business owners have to learn how to delegate things. Business owners have to understand that they're not going to, that it's good they know their numbers and they have to know what's going on, but at the same time, that's not why they got into business. They got into business to do whatever it was that they do, be a chef, be a mechanic, whatever it was. But that's why they need to hire you at Vista Business Solutions, because like you're going to be able to get into these things much more in depth, and you'll be able to see things that they're just not going to be able to see.
Exactly. When you're trying to do everything as a business owner, like working your craft where you had your talent, that's why you started the business. You probably put aside all the things you don't like in the business or what you're not good at, and financial is one of them, right? But um, when you start a business, you don't have in mind the end. How is it going to end for your business? And I'm a business owner too, and I'm thinking, oh, I'm going to sell my business, make a lot of money, and then I can retire and live on that for the rest of my life. Well, the fact is, more than 80% of businesses don't sell. Why? Because those businesses are made like a job. So let's say you're a mechanic. You were talking about a mechanic earlier, your sponsor. So let's say you're alone in your business and you're doing all the work. You're doing all the repairs. You're doing sales. You're doing marketing. You're doing your accounting, your bookkeeping. You're doing everything. Well, essentially, what you own is not a business, it's a job, right? And no
Mhm.
one wants or is attracted in buying a job. So you need to start working on delegating, like you were talking about, and building processes so that the business now it's not only the asset you have, but it's a whole that is attractive for a business, someone that wants to acquire your business, and all of a sudden it's worth a lot more money. So when I'm saying, I help business owner to transform their business, that's what I help them with.
Okay. So maybe give us an example how you took a company that was at X and how you impacted that company, and then how you got, where you took them from there. Maybe just give an example.
Yeah, I got so many examples since it's just been 2 years, but I've met so many business owners and they're struggling really. And one of the big struggle they have is um, the ability to understanding or knowing the impact on the decisions that they're going to make. Most of the time, this is the way decisions are made in the small and medium-sized business world is based on emotions or feeling. Saying something like, well, I feel that is the right thing to do, or yeah, I'm pretty sure it's going to work. Well, it's a lot based on hope, right?
Mhm.
And I like to say hope is not a plan. You got to work for it, and you got to understand where you're going. So that's a big one. And I help those business owners to see the impact on the business, on their decision, on how it's going to impact their revenue, their profit, and their cash flow, their bank account. How much So let's say I want to hire a new employee, or very simple decisions like that, or buying a new piece of equipment. So what does it mean for your business? How is it going to impact it on all those level? Or how much revenue do you need to now drive to make that decision a good decision? So I'm able to show them black and white, what is it going to produce, that decision. So now they understand if it's a good decision or not. They can make the right decision, but they also sleep better at night because they know they've made a good decision and they have a plan on how to execute that. So it's a great feeling. And do I have time for other
Oh yeah,
examples
no, yeah.
or
Give
yeah?
us an example, like how you went in there. Somebody thought they were actually doing pretty well, and you showed them a bunch of things, and you were like, "What?"
Yes.
Yeah, give us like an example without mentioning names, of course, or whatever. But yeah, just go ahead and just kind of give us a rundown of something like that.
Yes, I met many with that situation actually, where the business felt like it was thriving. It was doing great. It's doubling revenue over last year. So, and that number is a number that business owners are
You would
very
think, yeah,
comfortable
everything's
to
fantastic.
track.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I doubled my revenue. My business is going well. And then they do their taxes, or they look at their financial at the end of the year because they're gonna do their taxes, and they realize that, well, okay, that doubled, but where did the money go? I mean, there's nothing left in the bank, and my profit actually is half of what I was making last year while I doubled revenue. And that's one thing, is you got to manage growth, and you got to manage, um, yes, you got to drive more revenue, but more importantly, you got to drive more profit. And even more important than that, you need to drive more cash in the bank, because that's what you're taking to help grow your business, or taking at home, for your family. So if you don't monitor that, it's growing could be very dangerous without help or without monitoring closely every month if your decision have made sense. So I've been able to turn that around with clients of mine, and being able to correct uh, how they're shooting. And yes, you got to grow the revenue, but let's grow your money first. That's what I'm helping them with, and they've been very successful since then. And one of them, I love when that client says that, oh, we're building an empire, because she realized that she's not doing everything anymore in her business while she's making more money. So I,
Mhm.
I love seeing that. It's really rewarding for me.
No, that's great. Like I said, I know that's one thing that, I think business owners don't take into consideration. Yeah, like I said, they're succeeding despite themselves because they're not really getting that. And especially I said, yeah, I think you mentioned it before. It's not more about feelings, and they're really grinding, and this is their baby and things like that. So, bringing on somebody like you, who is an outside source, totally non-biased, coming in and saying, look, okay, yeah, you increase revenue, or you're here or there. Here's where I can see where you can do even better. Okay. So
That's
again,
correct.
you're going to be that unbiased, it's like, hey, you can do what you want to do. It's your business. But at the same time, here's what I'm seeing, and I know what I'm talking about. So you probably want to listen. So, you know,
Well, everybody's got their talent, right?
right.
Like you say, a mechanic is good with engine and all of these things, and they know how to do it. Well, I'm not good with mechanic. I can tell the business owner how to repair cars, but when I look at their financials, I see the story of their business. I see where it's been, but I see where it could be, and
Mhm.
and and that's where it's fun to bridge the gap to where it could be, and make that owner happy and successful.
No, it's great. And that's why, like I said, I really appreciate your approach on how you do it, and you break things down very well. I've seen how you break things down for clients, and it's even somebody who is not as financially savvy can look at this, like you said, understand red light, green light. It's like, okay, hey, things are okay. We can work on this. We got a yellow light here. All right, we got a red light here. Okay, how do we fix this, Fred? What do we do? Kind of thing.
Exactly.
You
And it's
know,
hard for an owner to know what they should be focusing on, right? There's a lot they can try. Do I focus on selling more volume? Do I focus on adjusting my price? Do I need to focus on my marketing this month? Or do I need to look at
controlling
my
costs.
overhead or my
Yeah.
payroll? Or do I need to take a loan? Can I buy this? I mean, there's so many things they can focus every month. Without a guide, they're just gonna keep doing what they know best, and probably not focus on the right things. But when I show them their scoreboard and we're going to work on this, I show them also, if you change this by a little increment, that's how much more profit it's going to give you. That's how much more cash it's going to give you next month and the following month and for the whole year. I mean, that way you know that you're focusing really on the right thing.
Mhm. No, like I said, that's what I really appreciate about your approach. So again, I want you maybe talk to us a little bit. Give us how you say, especially people that are starting out or people that are wearing all those hats. Give us like some, like your top five things, like why they want to bring you on board as far as Vista Business Solutions, and the things that they really need to be looking out for, things that you can help them out with.
Yeah. The big thing is, whether it's me or HR specialist or marketing specialist, or you can't be wearing all those hats and think you're going to be successful. Um, Most business owners, I'm one of them, uh, we're afraid to ask for help, right?
Mhm.
We especially at first, we think we can do it all. But very quickly it's very apparent that we can't. So, but asking for
Right.
help is hard, right? It feels like it's shameful to go and ask for people around us, um and 50% of businesses go down before their first 5 year of operation. So that is crazy. Uh, and there's no resources for those small business owners. So, if they feel the crunch, if they don't know, can I pay payroll next week, or can I afford to have an employee, or how should I build that empire of mine, right? That business that's going to be sustainable, that's going to be scalable, and that's going to be worth something when I want to retire. This is when you need to ask for help on the financial side. And yes, you'll need a bookkeeper, you'll need a tax person to file your tax every year. But how about looking in the future? Like I said, you can't drive your car looking at the rear view all the time. And that's what your financial statements are, right? It's what happened in the past. But what can you do about that? Not much, right?
No,
What the
nothing.
past happened,
History.
right? So yeah, drive looking up front. Yes, you need to look in the rear view sometimes and see, what's behind how you got here. But take a look in the future and where you want to bring it, and the actions you're going to make today are going to impact what's going to happen tomorrow.
Mhm.
So the longer you wait, the closer you're going to get from that statistic of all of those who fails. So yeah, if there's a message out there, don't wait until it's too late, because I've seen that as well, where I'm trying to take on a client, but they ask too late for help.
So, like I said, so what I'm hearing is delegation is key. You got to know what you're good at, know what you're not good at, and make sure you get somebody on board that is good at what you're not good at. Being able to understand and realize, hey, I'm not good. I'm here to turn wrenches, or I'm a chef, or I'm a whatever carpenter, or whatever I am. This is what I do. This is my talent. But the books are just as important. So we got to have, get that squared away. So delegation is going to be key. And then, of course, like I said, you got to know what you are, who you are, have a plan, get your
And
exit strategy in place. Then, of course, like I said, you can't be, you can't play. Said you can't be looking backwards. You got to be looking forward. You got to have that goal and that vision, and you got to be driving towards that.
correct, and take action. Uh, if you keep doing same thing over and over and expecting the same results, we all know what that is, right? That's insanity, and
That's right.
and and you don't want to drive yourself insane, because guess what, business owners, you need that business to be working, because your family needs your business to be working, and your employees' families need your business to be working, and no one of us business owner wants to get back and get a job, right?
Mhm.
Because we tasted the liberty, the freedom of time, and we can't think of working for somebody else again. So, but if you take action now, and make that business very successful, growing, more profitable, yeah, you're going to fulfill all those goals.
Yeah, it's awesome. So, is there anything that we haven't touched on that maybe you want to cover? Anything, specific about, Vista Biz Solutions or anything like that?
Yeah, I talked a little bit about, being afraid to ask for help, but it can be very lonely to be a business owner. There's not many people to turn to without feeling ashamed, and you can't ask your spouse or your friends counsel often because you're gonna feel like a loser. I know the feeling, uh, and you don't want to alarm anybody in your family that, oh, the business might not be doing well. And so who you're going to ask, right? There's not many people out there. So even like I mentioned, your CPA, your bookkeeper are super important, but they're there to make sure you're compliant, and they're not there to help you to make your business go better, right?
Hmm.
They're there to make sure you pay less taxes. So really, who do you turn to? It can be very scary, especially when you need to make decisions, and that happens every day, and that drives your sleepless night. So. Don't be afraid to ask. And, CFOs, and I'm not the only one out there. I'm part of a group, and we're 365. Actually, I'm a trainer of that CFO group, and I train new CFOs. So we're across the nation, and we're there to help the small and medium-sized businesses, which is 90% of our economy. Just very little support for that 90%. Unfortunately, there's lots of support for big businesses. But I want to be a good and great resource for them, so that they can strive. And I want to be part of that solution, and change the world one client at a time.
No, it's cool. So, so what's the ideal client for you?
The ideal client for me is it's not an industry, it's a client, a business owner that has been in business for a couple years, that is very passionate about their business. I talked about action. Um, if I cannot help somebody that don't want to change the way they're approaching things to be successful. So somebody that's passionate and wants to build a
Mm.
business that is scalable, that is growing, that is going to do better, needs passion, needs the love, right? And
Hmm.
that's what I'm looking for. And a business that's, generating over 500K is typically the business I work with. Love to work with business in the Valley or in Arizona. I got clients across the state. I've got a few that are out of the state in California and Washington and Illinois, but love working with those in the Valley of the Sun for sure.
No doubt, no doubt. So, why don't you go ahead and tell everybody how to get a hold of you, how to get a hold of Vista Biz Solutions, and give me your contact info.
Absolutely. So my email address is fbare@vistabizsolution.com. Look my website, www.vistabizsolution.com. I give a free training for business owner once a month, and if you go on that website, you're going to find the link to register to that training, and I'm explaining more in detail on how you as a business owner can have that approach and transform your business from owning a job to make it a money-making machine. So I hope I'm going to see a lot of you coming over and learn how to transform your business.
All right, man, that's awesome. Like I said, once again, I just wanted to, thank you for your time. I wanted to thank you for coming on board. I want to thank you for also your partnership, or your friendship and things like that. So, that was looking forward to getting you on here. So glad we were finally able to arrange everything and stuff like that. So thank you again for your time.
Well, thanks for having me. It was amazing.
And like I said, let's go Rangers, right?
Let's go Habs.
We're both hockey fans, so he and I give each other a little little grief every once in a while. So, all right, Fred, thanks again, man. Once again, coming on board, like I said, greatly appreciate it. And then, like I said, we'll have you on again too as well.
Thanks so much, Chris.
All
Have a
right,
good
thanks,
one.
Fred. All right, have a great weekend.
You too. Bye bye.
All right. And in closing, like I said, just as always, like I said, I'd like to say once again, thank you to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, who died for my sins and saved my eternal soul. So I can never earn it. Like I said, unmerited favor and grace and mercy. Like I said, thank you to Jesus. Thank you, of course, to my family, always supporting me. Like I said, give me inspiration to do this and do what I love to do. And then, of course, like I said, sponsors. We got more sponsors coming on board. Uh, stay tuned for that. And of course, all the subscribers to the show. Like I said, without you guys, we're not driving the show. So if there's anything that you want us to cover, things like that, feel free to reach out to me. You know, like I said, just send the comments over. Like I said, we'll start, covering something that you want to cover as well. Have a good night. Talk to you soon. Bye bye.